Hey, Keegan, it seems like every night you draw the most difficult player the other team has to throw at this group. Just how hard is that, and how different is Giannis than any other player in the league?
I don't think it's not necessarily hard in a way. It's more like a challenge. Being able to have DC, Doug just trust me, guard 1 through 5 was a big task, and I feel like I'm up for it every night. But guarding a guy like Giannis doesn't take just me. It's an entire team effort because you got to build a wall against him because obviously he's really talented.
With Giannis, what did you see as the difference between his first and second half?
I think we let him get comfortable. With any good score, he sees the ball go in a little bit, easy layups, dunks, things like that. Then he gets comfortable shooting his mid-range shots. So, like I said before, we had to build a wall against him, and he was able to split that a couple of times, and that's just something that we got to get better at.
Keegan, are you noticing teams making significant second half adjustments against you? Against the Bulls, it was less three-point attempts. Tonight, it was less shot attempts for Keon, who had it going in the first half. Just what are you noticing from first half adjustments or halftime adjustments from opponents?
I don't know if it's opponents. I think it's us. We had something clicking in the third quarter, a certain set, which is just a side ball screen and a throwback, and then we got away from that, and I think that's kind of where the game ended right there. So we just had to stay consistent and make the game as simple as possible.
Kind of speaking to that, was that the biggest difference you noticed in the fourth quarter, how they were able to kind of create some separation?
Yeah, I think obviously their guys knocked down shots in the fourth, and they were able to get comfortable, and were able to figure out how they're going to get their shots each time down the court. So I feel like they adjusted really well in the second half for sure.
And you guys have been kind of accustomed now to Malik in that point guard role. Where do you feel like you guys missed his presence most tonight?
I mean, just his creation. I feel like with him, he's becoming a really good passer throughout the year, and just his ability to make a bucket whenever, like you've seen when we played Cleveland the other night. So obviously filling his void's tough, but I feel like Keon did a good job, especially in the first half, doing that.
Keegan, obviously, like you said earlier, things changed in the second half for you guys offensively. It got kind of stagnant. Is that something you guys feel in the moment, or it just kind of how it plays out?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. It's something that we obviously talk about a little bit, try and get more of a drive, kick, swing going, find easy buckets, layups, things like that. So obviously it's an adjustment with a lot of new guys coming in, but it's something that we have to figure out real soon, or else we'll be in trouble.
To that point, Keegan, as the standings kind of get tighter and tighter, and you guys are really fighting to just make sure you hang on to at least one of those last two play in spots, just how much do you guys feel that pressure and, people maybe breathing down your back a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of our situation right now. We got a tough schedule, especially our next two games, and obviously there's a couple of teams that are winning behind us. So we got to figure out how we can beat these good teams in the NBA, and we obviously have to do it fast. So.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Keegan.
Yeah.
Keon, you're obviously a defensive-minded guy, but you've talked about how prior to even Bama, you were offensive, and now you're getting to show that a little bit more. How comfortable are you with that, and what do you feel like has led to the increased aggression recently?
Definitely, I would say I'm comfortable in my role. I mean, I know majority of the time I'm playing off of our stars, so whatever they need me to do, whether it's shoot, drive off the catch, or whatever it is, that's just I know that's what I'm there to do. But a night like tonight, kind of had it going early, so just kind of playing off instincts. So definitely comfortable out there. But I think just taking what the defense gives me, and that just leads to whatever happens for the night.
Keon, it seems it's become a bit of a theme, but late in these games, offense becoming a little bit stagnant. What do you make of that from your perspective?
If that's the case, I think we're just trying to slow it down and just get it to our guys who we know are clutch in those situations. So maybe it's a thing of trying to get it to them too much, too early, maybe. And I think probably could move the ball a little bit more before we try to, I would say just go ISO ball and just try to get it to the guys who we know can make the tough shots and, those timely shots. So I think that might be what it could be. But damn, I'm blanking. I kind of forgot the question. But yeah, I think in situations you probably could just try to explore a little bit more within the offense and see if we can get the defense to make a mistake before we just try to hit tough shot after tough shot.
Keon, really good first half for you, then just 3 shot attempts in the second half. I asked Keegan a little bit about halftime adjustments of opponents, and he said it's not adjustments, it's you guys. Do you agree with that assessment? Why does it feel like you guys go away from what's working in the first half so much?
I don't necessarily feel that way. I mean, what was working for us was in the first half, ball movement a lot. And then I think as far as me personally, the shots that I was getting just was how the defense reacted to certain things. And I think in the second half, they had trouble guarding our step-up screen. So we kind of ran that until, they kind of tried to figure it out. But I think they called a timeout, and then we tried to drop a play and maybe didn't score for 2 possessions or whatever, then just went to something else instead of staying with the step. But I don't think we intentionally went away from it. I think we kind of forgot maybe what was working for us. So at that point, you tried to explore a little bit more within our offense and the other plays that we have. So, but probably would have been smarter to just stick to what we were killing them with.
Having now dropped 6 of the last 8, I'm just kind of curious how you guys feel you've been able to kind of stomach that, and with the road ahead for you guys, just maybe what the mindset is there at that point.
I mean, just got to keep fighting. Our schedule doesn't get any easier. Trying to go out there and win every game, put ourselves in a position to fight to win every game. So tough to lose one like tonight. And especially coming off of the previous one. But, I mean, we know it doesn't get any easier. We have to bring it to an even higher level. I don't know when the next game is, but on the next one, we obviously have Boston. So just gotta bring the fight against them. I mean, we know what our situation is as far as standings and what we're playing for and everything. So just got to keep that the main focus and try to rally together some wins.
Keon, when you get these opportunities to start and get out there and help your team in that way, just how do you, as far as your approach goes, does anything change? Does the game come to you any differently in those situations?
Not necessarily. I would say just try to be real vocal out there. Just make sure I'm helping in any way I can. But obviously, if a night like tonight where I'm coming in probably at the point guard spot, just trying to make sure, spread the ball within all of our guys, make sure we're getting touches, make sure, everyone's feeling comfortable. And then on the defensive end, just trying to be real vocal, make sure we're in our spots to execute the game plan. So, but other than that, just doing what I do and trying to affect the game in that way. But starting or not starting, I'm just going to go out there and be me.
On a different note, Keon, Isaac converted to a full contract today from a 2-way spot, a position very familiar with you. Just what's your perspective on him getting a very similar opportunity to what you earned yourself for this organization?
Definitely really, really happy for him. I didn't find out the news. I was actually talking to him. He knew. He didn't tell me until I think we finished shoot around. I seen it on Twitter. But I'm really happy for him. Bright future ahead for him. So I went up to him. I was like, I know you're happy. He was like, nah, I'm really chilling. I'm like, no, I know your heart's beating fast right now. So, but yeah, no, definitely really, really happy for him. And you know, I mean, the work that he's put in, and you know, being two-way, and I mean, the impact that he's had when he's out there and getting minutes with us, it's been huge. So definitely really, really happy for him, and wishing the best for him.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Keon.
Yep.
Go Milwaukee.
Good evening, everybody. Tale of two halves for us. Like, for whatever reason, in the third quarter, we just, I talked to them about just keep it simple. Like, it's something is working. You want to just continue to keep it simple. And ball stuck a little bit. And all of a sudden, you know, they started making shots in the fourth. They were 6 for 9 from three. We were 2 for 7. Couldn't make shots. But to beat teams like this that are really, really good, there has to be a simplicity in your approach and a consistency in your effort and how you play the game. And you don't get bored doing it over and over and over again. And we just let up off the gas. And when you do that against a really good team like that, all of a sudden they go on a run, and 37-28 in the third quarter. So,
Doug, building off that, Keon had a really, really solid first half, and then I think just 3 shot attempts in the second half. Asked Keegan about the halftime adjustments, and he said it's not the opposing adjustments, it's more of us. Do
Yeah.
you see the same thing, just
Yeah.
like what you talked about?
yeah, it really is. Like, I constantly, like, you give teams credit, obviously, that they make adjustments and they come out and they do certain things, but our ability to be consistent in our approach when we find something that is working or knowing coverages and different things, we just gotta continue to do it. And sometimes it gets difficult, and sometimes you give them credit as well. Tonight, I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, Giannis is an incredible player, so you know, he's going to get calls, he's going to get downhill, he's going to do all of those things. But we had the game and had the ability to close it, and we have to do that.
Doug, you've talked a little bit about kind of the stagnant nature of the offense at times during ends of games and how it's coming from a good place and things like that. I think the players have kind of echoed those same sentiments. You obviously have the personnel to play that type of style at the end of games, but is that what you're wanting to see late, or why do you think that it's getting stagnant if that's not what you're wanting?
I think many times, sometimes the defense blows the play up, and as the shot clock is going down, then you take your time. I think that we have to explore early in the shot clock, and sometimes we're not playing as fast as we need to, and then that allows them to press up. All of a sudden it gets later in the shot clock, and now you become that without even knowing why it happened. We found a rhythm with a step up and collapse the defense, kick it out. We were getting whatever we wanted, and then we had a couple possessions where, for whatever reason, I have to go back and look at it, and whether they pressed up, whatever the case was, all of a sudden we found ourselves in the ability to, you got to either go hard to collapse the defense and spray the ball, and when that happens, you just got to be ready to shoot it. And I will say, like, tonight we got some pretty good looks, and we just didn't knock them down at the same time. So it's easy to look at, stagnant, but, I mean, we were 9 for 38 and 2 for 7 to close. So we make some of those that we normally do make, and, it's a different ball game. So it's not all of what you're saying, because I'll put that ball in those guys' hands and trust them any night of the week, because most times they come through. Tonight, you missed some shots. That's it. I would be more about making sure that we're locked in on defense, coming up with those extra balls, the one that bounced around and they hit the three. Like, those are the things that we want to do, those extra effort plays.
Doug, I know it's difficult to play everybody, but last 5 minutes you didn't go back to Keon. Was that just about the length and athleticism of LaRavia and Murray matched with your two scorers, or was it something else?
No, it wasn't. And sometimes it just, I wanted to go back to him after a minute, because in the timeout, I believe I can't remember who they went to, but the size had the ability to switch across. So, and then all of a sudden the game started happening, and I wish that I probably would have went back to Keon. But, in those moments, sometimes guys are playing well, sometimes it's size and physicality, and sometimes he'll be the guy, sometimes it'll be Jake. It just depends. Yeah.
Doug, I don't know if it's fully possible to replace a guy like Domas with all the skill set that he has and talent. But that being said, how do you think Jonas has done since then, since Domas has went down, and specifically tonight? How did you evaluate it?
I think Jonas has been spectacular for us, man. He adds a physical presence, his size, protection at the rim. We try to keep him in coverage and not play him outside of the things that we know that he's comfortable in doing, but he has just been a consummate teammate and professional. Like, whatever you need, coach, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it is, and like for a coach, like, you can't ask for anything more. He is incredible. I obviously met him in Lithuania and thought he had a nice relationship, but now to coach him, it's like, wow, you're about as good as it gets, brother.
Doug, the race is, is what it is. You guys are kind of in a dogfight right now. You got a tough schedule and a couple teams breathing down your neck a little bit. Like, how confident are you in this group's ability to kind of persevere and fight through that, and what's that going to take?
It's going to take what I talked about right from the rip. It's going to take keeping it simple. Like, we have a team, we have the ability to win these games. Going down the stretch, I think we have the hardest record, or the hardest or second hardest schedule, depending on where you looked at it from. But like, it doesn't really matter. No one really cares. These are games that we can win, and we should have won, in my opinion, these last two, and we didn't. And that falls on me. So like I said, I'll take it. I'm never blaming our players. I think that they're always trying to play the right way. Does it always go? Does ball always fall? No. But we'll get back to the drawing board and try to figure out a way to beat our next opponent in front of an incredible fan base that bring the juice every single night. So we have to reciprocate that.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.
Walker?